მინდა პატარა შესავალი გავაკეთო, ეს არის ფორმატი, რაც გვექნება ჩვენ ყოველთვის გამოძახების სიის მერე გექნება საშუალება, რომ პირდაპირ მეორე დღეს დავასწროთ ან გაიაროთ ყველა საკითხი, რაც დაგაინტერესებს ფეხბურთელებთან დაკავშირებით, იმიტომ რომ ფიქრობ, რომ ბევრად უფრო საინტერესოა და თქვენთვისაც უფრო ფიქრობ, რომ მნიშვნელოვანია, რომ თამაშის წინ, როდესაც არის პრესკონფერენცია, კონკრეტულად დათმული იყოს ამ თამაშის მიმართ. ამიტომ ყველა სპორტული საკითხი, რა თქმა უნდა, მთავარმცველი გაგცემთ პასუხს, დანარჩენი საორგანიზაციო ან სხვა საკითხები ნაკრებთან ის დაკავშირებით თუ დაგაინტერესებთ, მე გაგცემთ მაგითხვებზე პასუხებს. დიდი მადლობა.
So hello everyone. The first list for first adventure is always a special moment, and I'm really happy to share it with you. I will of course try to answer all your questions regarding the list and regarding the free match we're going to have. Even if I would love to concentrate first on the list and on the first match against Sweden, and if it's okay for everyone, the Spanish topic and about Greece also, we can do it another day. Since now some weeks, either alone or with the staff, we watch all the players, we watch all their performances within the national team or in their clubs. They are not easy decisions. When you decide to take 23, 24, 25 players, of course you can't take everyone. Some players maybe were here in the past, maybe they played a lot in the past, but that's a new adventure together. And I think in every new adventure you have to restart from zero, and each player has to show every weekend, every match with his club that he potentially can come with the national team. And that's how we did work with the staff, with Adel and with Zura, of course. We try to be the most honest we can to ourselves, but also to the players. We can't set up rules, fixed rules like if you don't play with your club, you can't play with the national team, because rules are made to be sometimes lift up, and but we try to take the right decisions with our heart, with our brain, and we just try to be honest. And that's why maybe some players who have quite a big past with the national team, some of them are not there, but it doesn't mean they won't be there in the future. The decision we took about these 25 players are just decisions about the next free match. And I just wanted to add something about the question about clubs who were asking certain things. If you listen to clubs, every weekend they have an important match, especially before the national team. So, but rules, there's some FIFA rules, and when we want the players to come here, the players will come here. And it's not a decision from the club, it's our decision if we take or don't take a player. And of course, we're always open to have discussion with clubs. We are always open to listen to their argumentations, but at the end the decision is ours and not theirs. We did give a lot of importance also to the domestic league with some players like Chapradze, Mamardashvili, Gigaori, yes, sorry, Kupatadze also. Lot of goalkeepers, lot of good goalkeepers in the league. No, that's for us, I mean for the staff and I, wherever you play, the most important is to perform. Of course, you've got some leagues who are better than others, but we always try to judge the players regarding their performance and what they can bring to the national team. And if these players are there today, I mean, when they will come on Monday. If they're here on Monday, it means they deserved to be here, and for us, that's just the most important. In every national teams, even in the, I would say, top ones, you know, national team, it's not like a club. You can't buy any players, so you have to cope with certain situations. I think it's a bit too early to say we have a lack of certain players for this position or for other position, because as I said, new players are coming now and they can also represent the future. When we talk about Chabradze, when we talk about Beridze, when we talk about Gyorbelidze, Mikautadze, they are all young players, and there are some other also young players, even some who are not there, like Davitashvili, for example. They are good and maybe also very good new generations coming. I think the federation is making an amazing job regarding the youth football here in the country. And for me, the only thing for me that is important is when it's more difficult to make a list, then better it is, because it means we've got a lot of players. Today, the only thing I can say is I can see we've got a lot of very good offensive players, and of course it's something I hope for every single position on the pitch. But at the moment, I have absolutely nothing to complain. We've got enough good players to target our goals, and we're going to just work hard on it. As I said, the list is a result of our choices. We decided to take 25 players because we've got 3 games, because we are in a COVID time, so a lot of things can happen, unfortunately. They are not really linked to football, but it can have consequences. The only one where we had a private discussion about his situation was Makaridze. We had a private conversation on his demand. I did understand his argumentation, and so we took the decision to leave Makaridze with his club for these 3 games. But all the others, for all the other players, no. I just know there's a club who's making a bit of fuss about one of our players. They try to not release him, but I'm convinced the player will come. But for all the others, they are just a consequence of our choices, and I'm very happy to meet the players as soon as possible. I don't want to talk about previous national team head coaches here, because I think we're all allowed to have our opinions. If you think that a player doesn't play enough in his club, then just don't take him. So at least you won't have to use these excuses. Of course, every national head coach in the world would love all his players to play in big leagues, to play 90 minutes every game, to never be injured, to score a lot of goals, or to stop a lot of goals for certain positions. But when I came here, after the discussion we had with Alexander and the president, I knew the situation. I knew where the players are playing. I knew if players were playing a lot or not. So it's a decision I took in all consideration, and I'm not going to hide myself behind certain excuses to answer to your question. I think the second one was about Konkava.
Yeah, that was one of the questions.
Yes, about Konkava. He has been the captain for the national team since now a lot of years. As I haven't met the player yet, we will just start meeting on Sunday, Monday. I'm not going to change this decision, of course. Konkava is going to stay, to remain captain, because I think from what I've seen and what I've heard, is a good one. I don't know if it will stay like that in the future, but at least for this next free match, Jabba will stay the captain, yes. To be honest, I started to learn exactly what football was, not at the beginning of my career, but when I moved to Germany, when I was 23, where I've been told, I learned, I've seen that without discipline, without investment, without daily hard work, you can't have success in football. So it's something I wish to all my players, that they have that in their head every day. You can't stop working one day in football. You have to work hard every day. That's also the kind of conversation I will have with the players, obviously. Then regarding Miko Tadze, when we had the first discussions with Alex, we had a lot of discussions about Miko Tadze. So, of course, I did speak to him because it was being a bit French and a bit Georgian was maybe something easier. We had a good conversation, but the federation made a fantastic job before that. And I think the most important is that today we are all very happy that George decides to play for Georgia.